So just when we thought the very bizarre, sad, tragic deaths of Gene Hackman and his wife and their dog, two other dogs did live though, right? Just when we thought we had it all figured out, such a mysterious, terrible thing that happened, and it was all clear, we're finding out maybe there's more.
Not this last haircut, but color and cut, but the color and cut in December. She mentioned to me that there was a man that had parked outside of their gate and followed them.
Oh, okay.
On two separate occasions, I believe is what she told me. One occasion is when they went to White Rock. They went and had lunch there, and the guy followed them parked outside of the gate, followed them from the gate of the residence all the way to White Rock.
Are you familiar with the house, the layout, like the way?
Only from what the TV.
So there's like a guard shack,
the big gate,
the main gate, and then there's another gate up on top.
Yeah.
Did she specify which gate?
She didn't specify which gate, but she also didn't know how long this person had been parked there.
The main gate.
Main gate or second gate?
Okay.
She didn't really say, but she said, Christopher, I'm surprised that security didn't.
Okay.
How he got there because she said when we left, she says, I noticed that this car had followed us from the residence to White Rock. She said, we went and had lunch. The guy pulled out a folder of photos of her husband and wanted him to sign them.
Okay.
And I said, we were sitting here, and I said, that's so weird because Santa Fe's not a place of paparazzi and stuff, but made it. I said to her, this is weird. I said, this is not Santa Fe. I said, did you call or say anything? And she said, I told him that. She approached him and said, I told him he needed to have more respect.
Yeah.
And so she says we left, and then I think it was the second occasion the same person followed them towards Pecos on the second occasion.
So you see that footage, man, that is the hairstylist, okay? And when I say things aren't as clear, we ain't just talking about what the hairstylist is talking about here. So stay with me, y'all. But this is very bizarre. On two different occasions, you heard it, some strange guy pulled right up, parked at the gate, followed them, and approached them with pictures. Another time with a bottle of wine. What the fuck? You know, could it have just been some weird fan that had come to find out they lived there? You heard what they were talking about. It's not really an active area when it comes to the paparazzi, but who was this guy? Two different times she told him, man, have some respect. But you heard the hairstylist talking about, because there's multiple gates, and they were saying, was it like the one by the security watchtower or whatever? I don't know if this security in which they're speaking of is their personal security or security for the community. But regardless, this really has me questioning a whole lot. Like there was some kind of security guard in some capacity, and he didn't stop the guy at the gate or anything like that, right? But also, like, I don't think he was the one that called it in. I think a neighbor did, of them being deceased or for the wellness check, figuring that something bad may have indeed happened. Like, I guess this guy wasn't doing his job. And I'm not trying to jump to some old conclusions, but it's just weird. People pulling up, security guard ain't doing nothing. He's not calling in that the people seemingly haven't stepped out. It's fucking Gene Hackman and his wife. You know who he is. You know the conditions he's in, as we've seen pictures. And we're going to get into this other clip here that, like I said, there's some other things that aren't as clear, but it's pretty weird, man. Autographs, wine bottles, fall back, have some respect. And it came back. I don't know. That's just so creepy, man. There was a whole lot of conspiracy stuff going on when this all happened. I don't know. Let me know if you take something of that, your thoughts But then what is even more unclear now, right? As I stated, we thought we found out what happened. She passed away on the 11th. That hantavirus condition you get from mouse droppings, rodent droppings, rat droppings, or whatever Gene had. They're now saying it was heart disease, but he had advanced Alzheimer's, all kinds of, health issues. She passed away, fell on the floor, pills everywhere, space heater falls on the ground. And then Gene Hackman with advanced Alzheimer's is just walking around till he passes away. They say 7 days later, her the 11th, him the 18th, and the poor dog was locked in its cage and just starved, dehydration. It's just so terrible, so sad, man. It's sad what happened to everyone, but man, that dog being locked up like that, that's just so cruel and sick, man. R.I.P. For real, for real. But check it out. Now they're saying, and not just like some schmuck saying, her doctor was saying, no, there's no way she passed away on the 11th. Couldn't have happened. I talked to her on the 12th.
More on this, let's bring in Dr. Michael Geschwind, a neurologist at the Memory and Aging Center at the University of California at San Francisco. Dr. Geschwind, I can't say it any other way. It's just so sad. One envisions Gene Hackman just kind of wandering around the house, I guess, with his wife lying there on the bathroom floor dead. But with advanced Alzheimer's, as the medical examiner said he had, he wouldn't necessarily know to pick up the phone and call somebody?
Yes, Alzheimer's disease is really, it's a terrible disease, and this is, as you so appropriately put it, really a sad and tragic story. People with Alzheimer's disease, particularly, they said that he had late-stage Alzheimer's disease, might not really be very much aware of what is going on around them. He probably might not have known even how to use the telephone, where the telephone was. It's very likely that he probably was wandering around the house. He probably didn't know how to cook anymore or how to feed himself. And he might not even known who his wife was at that time. In very late stages, people can not know who their loved ones are. Maybe they'll recognize them as familiar. They may not know their name. So he probably relied on his wife, Betsy, for many of his daily functions for the past several years, I suspect. And again, this is all speculation because he wasn't my patient, and I don't know any of the details.
Right. And they say that he apparently died of heart disease, but if he's just kind of wandering around the house, as you say, might not have known how to feed himself, might not have even been drinking water, right, for that time?
Very possible. And I suspect that his wife probably taken as his primary and what seems like possibly his sole caregiver might not have, she probably was the one who was giving him his medicines. So he probably needed to be on medicines for his various ailments, including his terrible heart disease, which he probably wasn't taking. And I read in the news that he had had some heart arrhythmias, which can also lead to death. So maybe he stopped taking his medicines. That, coupled with not eating, dehydration, could have led to his passing as well.
Let's try to
with Alzheimer's. Yes.
Well, let's try to make pull a silver lining out of this for people who have relatives with Alzheimer's. Is there a lesson here?
Well, we say that Alzheimer's takes a village, and it's an incredible burden to be a caregiver for somebody with Alzheimer's disease. It's estimated that $360 billion is spent on is the cost for unpaid caregiving in the United States. There are 7 million people in the U.S. living with Alzheimer's disease, and there are 11 million caregivers, most of whom are their loved ones who are not even paid for it. And in this case, there was probably a lot of pressure being put on, Betsy to be the primary caregiver living with him. And it really does take a lot of people to care if she really had her Herculean task taking care of somebody with advanced Alzheimer's disease.
And at age 65 and ill herself, it apparently became too much. Dr. Michael Geschwind. Thank you, doctor.
All right, so you hear those reports there, man. Just such a crazy story. Just originally finding out about this. How did everyone was befuddled, myself as well. Like, not just that the couple had both passed away, but the dog as well. And they were ruling out gas leak, carbon monoxide, all that. Then we find this out and you're like, man, that's so twisted, so horrible. But now they're like, no, that's not what it was exactly. The dates are not on time here. And it's just blowing my mind how things could be wrong so many times with law enforcement, with the people. It's also weird, right? It says Dr. Josiah Child, Hackman's doctor, recently claimed that Arkawa, the wife, called him on February 12th regarding an echocardiogram for her husband a full day after her estimated time of death. Quote, Miss Hackman didn't die on February 11th because she called my clinic February 12th. Child told the Daily Mail on Sunday. March 16th, Child claims that Arkawa also canceled an appointment on February 10th. Saying that Hackman was sick. So wait, on the 16th, she called about an appointment that he missed on the 10th. Is that what they're saying? Saying he was sick. The appointment was allegedly rescheduled for February 12th, but per Child, Arkawa never showed up. She did not show. Oh, okay, so they're saying the 16th, this must have been when she died. She called on the 10th to cancel the one for the 12th. Rescheduled for the 12th, but per Child, Arkawa never showed up. She did not show any symptoms of respiratory distress. Quote, the appointment wasn't for anything related to Hanta, VIRUS. We tried calling her a couple times, no reply. So apparently he said she was just calling, like asking if she could get something for congestion. And, what was up with Jean's echocardiogram. So very bizarre, man. Again, we're thinking we finally got this whole sad story ironed out, all the details. But there's even more wrinkles. Pause. So hit the comments. What do you make of this? Like that Hanta VIRUS. Like, is he saying there's no way she had it? I don't know. I just don't know what to make of any of this. It's just such a sad, bizarre situation. And I mean, some eerie stalker, death dates changed up. Like, what's going on? Let's talk about it. New viewers, sub up to the channel. Let's talk in the comments. It's coffee. Stay tuned for more content. I'm gone, y'all. Peace.